Oh boy, Keemstar, you have done it this time. Now, a lot of you have requested me up the fucking ass to make a Keemstar video. And I'm doing it now, right? But here's what I have to say before I begin. First of all, if any of you follow me on Twitter, right, then you've probably noticed the amount of really dumb Keemstar tweets I've been posting recently. And a lot of my followers just couldn't get enough of it, so they wanted me to make a video on it. Originally, I wasn't going to make a video on it because plenty of other people have made excellent Keemstar videos. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to exposing Keemstar, there's pretty much nothing I can add if I'm being honest, right? But if it wasn't for this situation alone, I wouldn't be making this video. The situation is that Keemstar is accusing a YouTuber I respect, Pyrocynical, of being a paedophile. Now, I'll get to Pyrocynical in a bit, but before I get on to the first topic, let me just address one thing. A few people have been crediting me recently, saying that I convinced Grade A Under A that Keemstar is a cunt. No, I fucking didn't. All I said to Grade is that Keemstar is a cunt, and everyone says so. That's it. I didn't convince him to do shit. The reason why I made that video is because I felt like Grade A Under A missed out a very crucial thing on YouTube drama. And of course, that being Keemstar. I've talked to Grade A Under A. He's a cool fucking guy. And me and him have a lot of respect for each other. But Grade's a big boy. He can fucking think for himself and come to his own conclusions. But when it comes to Keemstar, at least he's come to the right ones. So now I made that clear, let's move on. Now, Keemstar has been so fucking obsessed with Pyrocynical lately for the past few weeks, if not months. And if you're wondering how this drama started, to keep it short, Pyro gave Keemstar some criticism, Meanstar overreacted. And ever since then, Keemstar has had a huge Twitter rampage boner for Pyro. But besides that, right, he accuses Pyro of being a pedo, because Pyro was chatting to a 15-year-old girl at the time, now 16, from France on a Twitter DM conversation. Hold on a minute before you say anything. I know that sounds weird, but let me explain. Pyrocynical claims that he had a relationship with this person, not a sexual relationship. Last time I checked the DM conversation, Pyro only said the word relationship once. And even if he only said it once, they can have a relationship anyway, because Pyro and this girl are at the legal age to have a sexual relationship. If they wanted to. Pyro is between 19 to 20 years old, and this girl is now 16. And the legal age to have a sexual relationship in the UK, if she wanted to come over, is 16. There are two Kindle differences between a sexual relationship and a relationship. Now, I don't need to tell you what a sexual relationship is, but let me just tell you something, what a simple relationship is. A basic relationship could be anything, whether it's good or bad, respectful, sexual, etc. And in Pyro's defense, it's not a sexual one. To me, it looks just like a good mate relationship. They're just good friends. And to show you what I mean, right, here is the difference between Pyrocynical's DM conversation and a random sexting text I just snatched from Google. Is Pyro using any of the phrases from the text on the right? Absolutely not. So my question to you is, how does that make Pyrocynical a paedophile when both of them are at the legal age to have a relationship, even if it is sexual? In fact, this proves even more that Pyro is the true victim of defamation of character, because Keemstar, the same person accusing Pyro of being a paedophile, goes the extra mile to change the age of this girl twice, after being told that she was 15 at the time, by a few people who resented Pyro.
Oh, and Pyro, do you remember those YouTubers that you used to be friends with before you blew up and like fucked them off? You know how they've been contacting me saying that you've been dating some like 14-year-old French girl and shit?
Pyro was trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl from France, all right? That he was technically like a pedo or a weirdo or something, right?
So let me prove how much of a fucking liar Keemstar is. It says nothing about a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old in Pyro's DM conversation with this individual. In fact, Keemstar, you've been accused of being a paedophile on numerous occasions. Regardless if they're true or not, I haven't got any proof to prove that he's a paedophile, not at all. But he did say this though.
I'm gonna rape your kids, Big Snacks.
Now, regardless of the intent, no one in the right fucking mind would say that about anyone's kids. It's fucking disgusting. Have some standards, man. Not only that, I know Keemstar is known for saying really fucking stupid shit and goes on angry gnome rants on Twitter. But the thing is, yeah, there's this one YouTuber that has pretty strong claims about Keemstar, saying that he is, I repeat, is a pedo. And Jesus Christ, man, this guy sounds pretty damn sure of himself.
I have mentioned that Keemstar is a pedophile on my Twitter. There's where you could be a moderator. You know, he was sitting there and people were like, hey, you know, I want to be moderator. And this girl stepped up and said she wanted to be a moderator. And he said, okay, well, to be a moderator in my show, in my blog TV show, you have to strip down completely naked and put fan signs in front of your private parts that say DJ Keemstar or I love DJ Keemstar. And so everyone was really upset when they heard that, but she did it. She actually did it. She got nude. She put these fan signs in front of her. He told her to get on all fours and start crawling around like a little dog, like his little pet, and then she could be moderator. And there's like 30 witnesses of that. I honestly know he's a pedophile just because of that. All of a sudden, a man with no education or a man with very little education is an expert in pedophilia. It's because he's a pedophile.
Now, Futuristic Albeit has quite the history with Keemstar, but that's too much to cover in one video. But with that being said, these accusations made by Futuristic Hub are quite fucking high, man. Especially the fact that when Futuristic Hub claims that 30 witnesses witnessed what Keemstar was doing on that stream. Which makes you wonder, but Graham lad, why didn't fucking Keemstar sue for defamation of character? You know what I mean? Because my theory is Keemstar is scared of getting exposed in that light, which is why when Pyrocynical is looking into suing Keemstar for defamation of character, he is confident to sue him for defamation of character. So my question is, why hasn't Keemstar sued Futuristic Hub for defamation of character if these accusations are false? But in conclusion, what sounds worse? The fact that Pyro was talking to one of his fans who's 15, possibly 16, going through a rough time in her life, then forming a relationship out of support, or saying to someone that they're going to rape their kids, and at one point in time, telling a 15-year-old girl that she could be moderator if she puts signs on her private parts saying, I love DJ Keemstar, and then walking around on all fours like a dog, by a man who was in his early 30s. Now, I am not confirming Keemstar is a paedophile, but if Futuristic Hub claims that there were 30 witnesses at that time, then only time will tell. Now, this is how obsessed Keemstar is with Pyro, right? Not only Keemstar goes so far to invade Pyro's privacy right, but uploads pictures of Pyro's face, which came from Pyro's private Facebook page. And if that isn't being obsessed, I don't know what the fuck is.
Twitter pretty much devolved into a battleground. The fallen god of Olympus would randomly, with little to no context, start attacking me and posting private, I repeat, private pictures of me on his Twitter.
Now, Keemstar claims that it isn't private because you could simply look it up on Google. And yeah, you can. However, people have claimed Keemstar was the real reason for why Pyro's face is on Google Images. Because it's simple to understand. Keemstar is the first, I repeat, the first person to post private pictures of Pyrocynical.
Attends conventions, and guys, he had a picture of Pyro. That's right, this is the first ever picture that we have ever seen of Pyrocynical. And guess who tweeted out? Keemstar. Not Pyro. Pyro didn't make a video of it. This was how Pyro's face reveal happened.
So the question is, how the fuck did Ratno manage to get a private picture of Pyrocynical into the public? Well, here's my theory. Remember those three lads that were talking to Keemstar about Pyrocynical? Right, one of them must have had to have known Pyrocynical's real name before he blew up, or sent a link to his private Facebook page or whatever. Cause how the hell would Keemstar be able to find Pyro's real face? But either way, Keemstar has no right snooping into anyone's privacy. And on top of that, this pretty much shows how fucking obsessed with Pyrocynical he really is. To actually go so far to delve into his fucking privacy of all places. In conclusion, at this point, all the stuff that Keemstar pulls on a daily basis is defo gonna give his daughter post-traumatic known disorder. And at this point, Keemstar's daughter's first word was probably fucking Pyro when she was born. And fuck, I just realised it's just a simple case of like father like daughter. What if her first words are fucking news? Or even worse,
Nigger news. Nigger news. Nigger news.
may God have mercy on her soul, poor thing. Now I can go on and on and on about Keemstar all day, but at this point we already know how much of a liar, manipulator, and a big fucking hypocrite he is. Other people have called that out, and I'd just be repeating what they're saying. At this point, Keemstar's pretty much guilty anyway. So to sum up Keemstar in one picture, here it is.